pulled away to have time, just like you, when we were at the reunion and was asked, how is your relationship now with Melody? Your response was, I don't know. I haven't talked to her since we wrapped.
Finally speaking up, Destiny Payton revealed something that, let's just say, has caused some people to view this whole situation somewhat differently. As speculation took over and Martell remained silent, Destiny made the decision that it was time to set the record straight. In addition to making a statement, she opened up about the impact the crash, the drama, and the tension behind the scenes had on everyone and everything. For those who have been watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, you are already aware that Destiny plays a significant role in the show. She has been at the center of the drama, juggling friendships and business while attempting to maintain her objectivity throughout the entire ordeal. And this neutral position is beginning to change, though, as Destiny was also entangled in the rumors following Martell's horrific car accident.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
People began to wonder what she knew, whether she was acting on behalf of Martell or whether she had had enough of the whole situation. Destiny acknowledged that this accident rocked everyone, so we now know she has been keeping things to herself. There has been simmering tension behind the scenes. Although she didn't explicitly state that Martell was spiraling, she did imply that something had been building for some time and that it all exploded with that accident. She also talked about how his energy had changed even before the crash. But what attracted the most attention? The atmosphere surrounding Martell, the forced smiles, the pressure to maintain appearances, and the quiet stress that has been undermining their group dynamic were all mentioned by Destiny, in addition to her remarks about his health. She clarified that this isn't just a car accident. Rather, it's about a person who has been battling issues that are now finally catching up with him, which is where things become even more difficult. Why did Destiny decide to speak up at this time, and how does she fit into all of this chaos? Let's rewind the tape and dissect everything. It wasn't just any accident when Martell Holt was involved in a late-night car accident. Although there were few details, news broke quickly. Nothing was reported about the passengers. No complete police report was released to the public. And above all, Martell remained utterly silent, which only made matters worse. Some fans didn't believe it, believing it to be a simple accident caused by bad weather or distraction. The timing was strange, and the lack of openness was even stranger. Then the rumors surfaced. According to some, Martell had emotional instability and something deeper may have caused the crash. He was both in the spotlight and behind the scenes, and people were curious to see if the pressure would eventually blow up. Others mentioned being careless, driving too fast, being distracted, and possibly even drinking. No evidence, just theory. However, since no one was providing answers, the theories gained traction, and to be honest, you can't hold people accountable for raising inquiries. Martell has been noticeably absent from recent Love and Marriage episodes. Huntsville, he was distant and irritable and frequently appeared to be carrying a burden that he was unable to discuss, according to some cast members. Therefore, the story was told in silence when the accident occurred and no one spoke. This is where the complexity increases even further. Fans noticed that Destiny Payton was quiet following the collision. She didn't answer when people tagged her, left her name in comments, and inquired about her whereabouts, which only led to more conjecture. Due to the fact that Destiny has never been afraid to speak up when necessary, therefore it was significant if she was quiet. But behind the scenes, Destiny was keeping an eye on everything. She saw the posts, the drama, and the theories, and she said she had a reason for keeping quiet. She was letting the dust settle before determining what needed to be said, because she wanted to understand the whole situation before jumping into the conversation and didn't want to react emotionally or speak out of turn. Fans, however, were bringing her name into the controversy even though she remained silent. While some claimed she was hiding something, others accused her of protecting Martell. Some even asked if she was under pressure from the cast or network to keep quiet. Then, just when everyone assumed she was keeping quiet, Destiny spoke up and didn't hold back. When Destiny did finally speak up, it It wasn't in a dramatic post or a highly publicized interview. Instead, she did what she always does, which is to remain composed while making sure her words are impactful. Although she avoided naming specific people in a recent social media live, it was obvious that she was discussing Martell and that she was exhausted. While not overt, her remarks were nuanced. Destiny began by addressing the reason she had been silent, stating that she is not the kind to speak up until she has seen the big picture. She then made some sharp remarks that attracted everyone's attention. She made a statement that was among the most impactful. Some people live in cycles. Chaos is their comfort zone, and eventually, if you stay close too long, it starts to bleed into your life too. Because of how chaotic Martell's personal life has been, from custody battles to public drama to this crash, fans immediately connected that one line to him. Destiny's remarks gave the impression that she had been coping with Martell's mess for a longer period of time than she had admitted. She also subtly implied that she was aware of some aspects of Martell's mental health prior to the collision. She stated that she had anticipated the storm for some time and was not shocked when it materialized, though he did not provide any details. That was more than enough to start people speculating. Rather than being angry, Destiny's tone was worn out, as if she had tried to remain neutral for as long as possible before deciding to stop defending someone who doesn't defend herself or anyone else. There has always been some tension beneath the surface of Destiny and Martell's relationship, even though they occasionally show support for one another on camera. Her recent remarks now make it abundantly evident that tension has been building for some time and is finally erupting. The overlap between their business and show relationships is largely to blame for that conflict. Destiny has always stated that she will not play the puppet, but Martell. Additionally, there were times when the cracks were visible during filming. She remained respectful even though she didn't always agree with his movements. Destiny is drawing a line with her decision to speak up, which feels like a turning point. Her remarks about people who take up too much space and her weariness of putting out other people's fires imply that she is no longer on Martell's side, not publicly, not professionally, not emotionally, and honestly, that's what matters, as Destiny was one of the few people who continued to believe Martell for a long time. The fact that she is taking a step back now speaks volumes about how far things have sunk behind the scenes. Additionally, the fact that she is speaking now suggests that she is done defending his reputation, acting as though nothing is wrong and allowing his problems to become her own. If you thought that was dramatic, you won't believe it until you hear how Destiny's comments directly related to a fresh round of legal action that was coming at Martell. Following Martell's vehicle accident, there were rumors that Melody Holt was involved in a new legal action, and not just in passing, it seems. And this is where things really start to get heated. Melody might be directly involved in a lawsuit related to the crash, and people quickly began to wonder who was giving her the inside scoop. At that point, Destiny regains her focus. The Destiny remained silent for months despite fans' demands for clarification. Her silence initially seemed to be an attempt to avoid the drama, but it is now increasingly apparent that she was acting strategically, not to sabotage, but perhaps to protect herself and avoid the impending storm. Sources close to the matter speculate that Destiny may have been working with Melody behind the scenes the entire time, perhaps providing information that only someone close to Martell would know. Although Destiny has not explicitly confirmed any of this, her most recent remarks made it abundantly evident that she is no longer acting as Martell's stand-in. When you combine that with Melody's recent legal troubles, it begins to appear that Destiny's silence wasn't motivated by loyalty, but rather by timing. And the timing couldn't be more detrimental to Martell right now. He's under constant pressure, his public persona is in ruins, cast members are retreating, and now there's a potential lawsuit that might reveal even more about his private life. But what does this mean for Martell? Because Melody is preparing for a legal battle while Destiny pulls away, Martell's foundation is beginning to crumble. Things that are taking place off camera are now beginning to influence what we see on camera. Destiny's apparent support for Melody is causing the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast to split up in a way that has never happened before. It's more than just drama. Alliances are being reformed in real time. In the past, Martell had enough charisma to diffuse conflict and win people back to his side. People like Destiny, who previously attempted to play neutral, are now openly establishing distance, and he is becoming more and more alone now that charm isn't working. Everything will be different going forward because of that change. A significant message is conveyed when Destiny and Melody align. It demonstrates that Martell's current contribution to the table is greater than any past beef Melody and Destiny may have had. Such a realignment could have a significant impact on the show's future. Producers enjoy drama, of course, but they are also aware that when the tone changes too much, it impacts the overall atmosphere. The dynamics are changing, and we may be looking at cast changes or even departures for the upcoming season if Martell keeps losing friends and alienating people. As things spiral out of control, it becomes evident that Martell is fighting for what little support he still has, not just legal battles. Do you guys, however, believe Destiny has finished defending Martell? Post your opinions in the comments section. Remember to hit the bell for notifications, like and subscribe. We have only just begun, and I promise you won't want to miss what comes next.